Last week, the boat had broken down. You will have seen Peter cruising into the Nantwich Canal Centre after a temporary repair had been done on his boat. The boat is still awaiting repairs, though I think, as you are watching this on the 8th of June, it might be being fixed right now. But we went for a little walk into the parish of Nantwich, and I just took some photographs as we walked around. I'd like to share them with you, and I hope you have a relaxing time just joining me on our walk, seeing what we see.
So here we are at the Nantwich Canal Centre, which is a little basin just outside Nantwich. And the temporary repair that the engineer did in situ at Tilstone Lock has held, so we were able to cruise down here all right. We arrived last night, and then this morning we were told that it's going to take a week to get the parts we need to fix the engine properly, because this is a temporary repair, and they've offered us a week's mooring here whilst we wait.
We started our walk by just walking up the towpath, and there was a really worn wooden sculpture on the side of the canal. I found it really interesting. It's like the horse is actually pulling a narrowboat. We then went over and under the Nantwich Aqueduct. It's an amazing structure. I will show you how it looks according to the sign that is on the side of the towpath. It really looks quite interesting. To get down from the Nantwich Aqueduct, there is a staircase that goes from the top down towards the street. It's quite high up, but it makes for a shortcut to get into Nantwich. Very close to the canal, on the side of the towpath, is another wooden sculpture, this time of a little dog. I think it looks so sweet. We carried on walking up Welsh Row and came across some very interesting buildings. We came across what looks to be a very worn set of steps, and Peter remarked that it was a mounting block for people to mount their horses back in Tudor times, I guess. But you can see how many people must have walked these steps or climbed these steps in order to mount their horse because of how worn they are. We actually came across some beautiful Tudor architecture. This house looks as if it's out of a fairy tale. The black against the white looks quite stunning. I think it's very beautiful, but it's in counterpoint to the buildings on either side and the cars in front of it. As we carried on our walk, I looked to my left and saw this wonderful archway, but further along the passageway was a gate, and the top of the gate mirrored the shape of the arch. I liked that symmetry, and I liked the wrought iron work on the gate as well. We carried on walking into the town, and we were just getting into the shopping district when we saw a set of 3 Lambrettas. Now, Peter actually remarked that he had owned a Lambretta, which rather surprised me. I don't really see Peter on a motorbike or a scooter, but he owned one. He must have ridden it. I wonder if he's got any pictures, actually. I'll have to ask him. But these Lambrettas looked as if they were very well cared for, and they were beautiful too. One of the largest structures in Nantwich is St Mary's Church. Unfortunately, on this occasion, we couldn't go in to have a little look around because there was a wedding going on. But here is a picture of the outside of it, and it looks really grand. If you look on the church's website, I think you will find some really interesting interior shots, but maybe on another visit I'll be able to take a look myself. We eventually had to stop for some food, of course. What walk would not be complete without some sustenance? There's a really quirky bookshop come coffee lounge, and this too was a Tudor building. We went in and we were shown upstairs. The floors are not straight, the walls are not straight, but it was so comfortable, so cosy, and the food was really good. We had poached eggs on toast, and the poached eggs were perfect. Nice and warm, runny yolks, and it was lovely. We stayed there for quite a while. The seating area in this coffee lounge, they had various zones, some with tables and chairs, and others, like in the room that we were in, had Chesterfield settees and tables. The floorboards, we were told, were original from the date that the building had been erected, which I think was in 1583. After our brunch, we then went along the street for another little walk, but we encountered this lovely little yard called Cocoa Yard, and it was the site of a coach manufactory. And in here we found a millennium clock, no doubt to celebrate the millennium, but also this chimney structure that was used in manufacturing of coaches, I believe. We carried on walking round for quite some time, just chatting and looking at the shops, and eventually we decided to stop for some more coffee. We went into this lovely little cafe, which is right next door to the coffee lounge that we went into earlier, and they serve pizzas, but what I really fancied was a bowl of chips. So that's what we ordered, and they were really hot. They were crunchy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. If you're ever in Nantwich, go to Enzo's and try their chips. I'm sure their other food is delicious as well, but chips was what we had. Now, if you are in Nantwich and you want to do a little explore on foot, there is actually a circuit that you can walk. We didn't do it because we didn't know about it, but I'm sure if we do return to Nantwich and we have the time, I think it's something I would like to do. So my recommendation, if you want to see all the sites on this map, is to do the walking tour. I don't think it would take very long, as Nantwich isn't a very big place. But a little bit of trivia that I found out from chatting to a friend from orchestra just yesterday is that for the size of town or parish, it has the most pubs. It has approximately 18 to 20 pubs in such a small area. And I find that quite interesting. One church, well actually two churches, because on Sunday I went to visit the Catholic Church of St. Anne's on Pillory Road, I think it was, which was a lovely little church. No comparison in grandeur or stature to St. Mary's, but it suited me very well. So if you get to Nantwich, do take the walking tour. I think you will find it very interesting. Take a walk to the canal and go up onto the bridge. It's a lovely view from up there. You seem quite high up also, so it makes for a very nice afternoon walk. The other thing that I remarked to Peter about was that walking back to the canal centre on this lovely sunny afternoon was that it reminded me of my childhood when Sunday afternoons were very calm, very peaceful, the sun was shining, and there was a stillness in the air, and there weren't many people about, and some of the shops were shut. And it just took me back to the 1960s and 70s when I was a little girl. So if you ever get to visit Nantwich, please do look around and explore it to its fullest. I hope you have as lovely a time there as I did. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. It was a collection of photographs that I took, but I hope you found them as pretty and as interesting as I did. Peter's narrowboat is still being repaired. It might well be finished by today, but then we have to think about where he's going after this. Nantwich Canal Centre has been a brilliant place for him to have broken down compared to where he was virtually in the middle of nowhere. And he wasn't too far from the Bunbury locks, the staircase locks. But to get anywhere was a walk down country lanes, and I didn't fancy doing that very much at all. Hopefully next week's video I will be able to give you some good news about Narrowboat Bandonian, and perhaps Peter could take some footage of where he's going and what he intends doing. So until next week and next week's video,